So, hello, my dear friends. Good afternoon, everyone. How are you all? Okay. So, my dear friends, now we are starting our journey of business economics. Okay. I'll tell you how I will teach. Okay. And how you must study, because this is a very beautiful subject. And chances are all of you will almost score full marks here. Only condition is two things. Number one, listen carefully when I explain a topic. जब मैं किसी टॉपिक को एक्सप्लेन कर रहा हूं उसको पूरी तरह से सुनना. काफी बार क्या होता है, what often happens is once we are teaching, the student starts typing, so you are not listening full. पूरा बात को सुनिए, उसके बाद अगर क्लियर ना हो प्लीज and then I'll summarize it in Hindi so that everybody has understood very well. But listen fully. And this was the first step. What is the second step, sir? After that, once our class is over, institute must have sent you books, or the institute books are available. The PDF is available on the ICI website. If the book has not reached you yet, and then study it. Okay? You will be fully prepared. I assure you, you will be fully prepared. That is my promise to you. You will be able to score full marks in this subject. The subject is so easy and beautiful that you will be able to score full marks in this subject. And trust me, what I'm telling about this full marks is not a prediction, it's a spoiler. You will be able to do that. Okay. So with that being said, let's start the game once again. Okay. So here we go. Okay. The first question is, what is business economics? Okay. The first question is, what is business economics? So my thing to you is very simple, that in order to understand business economics, first let's understand economics, because today we are doing chapter number 1. So chapter 1 is divided into 2 units. The first topic is nature and significance of business economics. Okay. And part 2 is we will understand the basic problems of economy, right? We will understand other concepts related to economics, like types of economies and everything. Okay. So let's start from very base level. Okay. My question to you is simple. Guys, today, all of us have smartphones. Yes or no, everybody? Yes, sir. We do have smartphones. Now, the features that a smartphone has today, was it there 20 years back? No. Sir, 20 years back, the smartphone was barely used to make telephone calls. 20 years back, the smartphone was merely used to make simple telephone calls. Later on, some features like messaging came in, then music came in, then camera came in. Today, cameras are becoming advanced in the respective smartphones. The phones are, good enough to play games and everything, right? So you see, the first version of smartphone is not the final version of smartphone. It kept on upgrading. Agreed? Yes, sir. Same is the concept of economics. What is economics? Different time periods had different explanation to the same. Let's start our movie from the year 1700s. To be exact, 1776, where one of the economists, whose name is Adam Smith, he came out with the concept that economics is anything that deals with wealth. Economics is anything that deals with wealth. So if we are talking about money, it's economics. Full stop. Later on, people like Alfred Marshall came into the picture. Now, when Alfred Marshall came in, he told, no. Economics is beyond wealth. It deals with welfare of the people. Just because you have money, you cannot define it as economics if it is not backed by welfare, the standard of living of the people. So there was focus on welfare. Then came scientists, I would say economists like Lionel Robbins. Then Robbins gave a better definition. Later on, Professor Samuelson gave a much better definition. I will talk about all of these. But what did you understand? Sir, we understood that as time progressed, the meaning of economics got widened up. जो इकोनॉमिक्स का मतलब है, पहले बहुत छोटा हुआ करता था कि इकोनॉमिक्स कुछ नहीं है, बस पैसे से रिलेटेड चीज है। लेटर ऑन पैसे के साथ साथ इंसानों को इन्वॉल्व किया गया एंड धीरे धीरे इकोनॉमिक्स का जो डेफिनेशन है वो बढ़ता चला गया। दिस इज व्हाट वी आर स्टडिंग। ओके, so we have understood this much. Now the question is, what is business economics? What is business economics? I will help you what is business economics. I will tell you the definition. But first of all, I have a question for you all. Okay, my question is very simple, guys. It is I am talking about a TV show that started 15 to 20 years back, but now it has started in India. Yes, I am talking about Shark Tank. How many of you with respond in the chat? How many of you watch Shark Tank? You are no in the chat, guys. Come on, if you watch it. I'll give you an example directly from there. Okay, so most of you. Now that's what I'm trying to tell you. If you listen to the businessman's question, they will always ask you, tell us about your business. Break down the cost. Like how much are you selling it at? Let's say 100. What is your cost of goods sold? What is your marketing expenditure? So on and so forth. So that's what I'm trying to say is, when you apply the concepts of economics, when you apply the concepts of economics to the business world, we call it business economics. Oh, so simply it is application of economics in business analysis. Bus, that is business economics. That is business economics, wherein you talk about an individual business, the factors that affect the demand for that business products. When the business is making a supply, what are the factors which enables a business to increase the supply or which forces the business to reduce the supply? Whatever is working around here, that is business economics. Now, my dear friends, if I talk to you about the journey of what we are going to study today, let me sum it up for you. Today, first of all, what I'll teach you is, I'll teach you micro versus macroeconomics. What I'll teach you is, number one, micro versus macroeconomics. Okay. Then I'll talk to you about nature you could say, or features of business economics. Nature / features of business economics. Guys, once we have done this, we will study the application of business economics or in general economics to the different fields of our study, applications. Then today itself, we will study basic problems of economy. Once we have understood, then we will learn what is capitalist economy. Okay. We will study what is socialist economy. Okay. We will study what is mixed economy. I am talking about the map of today's class. Okay. Okay. And then lastly, we will solve some questions. Obviously, during the class also, we will solve many questions, but this is the broad plan of things. Sir, how will we maintain our economics notes? The first thing is, forget about notes. Yes, you have to maintain it, but first step is listen to what I am teaching carefully. Number one. Number two, ask your doubts. Number three, study institute material. Study institute ICI material carefully. Number three. And number four would be the PPT that I'm displaying or the notes I'm displaying in front of you. I will upload it. So you can download it from there and you can use it for your purpose. Got it? Okay, sir. So with that being said, let's start our business for the day. Okay. The topic is microeconomics versus macroeconomics. Okay. So see, there are two main branches of economics. One is microeconomics and the other one is macroeconomics. Microeconomics, you see, let me take you to a forest. Okay. If in a forest, you're talking about an individual tree, that is microeconomics. But sir, a forest has many trees. Yes. So if you talk about the forest in general, or you take all the trees together and you talk about all the trees, that is macroeconomics. Microeconomics deals with an individual organization, an individual consumer, an individual supplier, an individual producer of goods and services. What does macroeconomics deals with? Aggregate of all these. That is all the individuals taken together, all the businesses taken together, all the suppliers taken together. So macroeconomics is a larger form of micro. But sir, our topic is business economics. So which one is business economics? Is it the micro one? Is it the macro one? Or is it both? My dear friends, business is an individual organization, and therefore microeconomics is what we are going to study. Oh, so sir, what you are telling us is that our syllabus, business economics, is nothing but entire microeconomics. Yes, you are absolutely correct. Yes, you are absolutely correct. Micro talks about individual organization. And yes, business economics is nothing but microeconomics. Macro deals with many. We are not caring about macroeconomics in our entire foundation syllabus. So, sir, won't we study macroeconomics? Yes, there is macroeconomics, but it is not at the foundation level. It is at the inter level. Our institute has organized the syllabus very beautifully, wherein you are studying foundation. In foundation, you are studying micro, and in the inter level, you will study macro. Okay, so let's focus on micro. Guys, before I start my discussion even further, is everything clear till here? क्या यहाँ तक सब कुछ clear है? You or no in the chat, guys. फटाफट everybody. Okay. Yes, sir. It's clear. All right then. Let's go. So, my dear friends, as I told you, microeconomics. No, these are the concepts we study in microeconomics. Theory of consumer behavior. You will be surprised to know, but this is a part of our syllabus. Consumer behavior, consumer equilibrium. Acha. Very good. Production, it's a part of our syllabus. Pricing of goods, price mechanism, it is a part of our syllabus. Matter of fact, price mechanism, so we are doing today itself. Okay, and then we delve into the world of macroeconomics, where we are going to study about theory of income and employment, concepts like national income, okay, general price levels, inflation that is affecting the entire economy or many at a time, not an individual at a time. Got it, sir? So to sum everything up in Hindi, इकोनॉमिक्स के दो ब्रांचेस होते हैं, एक माइक्रो और एक मैक्रो. माइक्रो एक इंडिविजुअल कंज्यूमर से डील करता है, एक इंडिविजुअल सप्लायर से, एक इंडिविजुअल बिजनेस से डील करता है. मैक्रो इकोनॉमिक्स किसी इंडिविजुअल के बारे में, किसी इकलौते पर्सन के बारे में बात नहीं करता. सारे कंज्यूमर्स का जुट आप बना लीजिए, सारे सप्लायर्स का आप जुट बना लीजिए, इन सबको एक साथ लेकर जब आप बात करोगे, वो अपना मैक्रो इकोनॉमिक्स है, वो अपना मैक्रो इकोनॉमिक्स है. माइक्रो इंडिविजुअल से डील करता है, मैक्रो ग्रुप से डील करता है. माइक्रो इंडिविजुअल से डील करता है, मैक्रो ग्रुप से डील करता है. सर वी हैव गॉट इट. सर बात समझ में आ गई है. लेट्स मूव ऑन फर्दर माय डियर फ्रेंड्स. सो माइक्रो इकोनॉमिक्स का डेफिनेशन दीजिए सर. एंड याद रखें, वन सेकेंड, याद रखें, बिजनेस इकोनॉमिक्स माइक्रो इकोनॉमिक्स ही है. ओके, नाउ लेट्स कम टू द डेफिनेशन ऑफ, है ना, नाउ लेट्स कम टू द डेफिनेशन ऑफ व्हाई. What is microeconomics? Let's understand this. Microeconomics is something that focuses on the individual parts of the economy, how households and firms make decisions. So let's say if there is a business, at what price they will sell, whether they will do the business or not. Because you may ask me, sir, why will I study microeconomics? What is the benefit? Then you will be able to take decision like, should you do this business or not? Is this business profitable or not? What is the cost of doing this business? Things like this, you can take decision. As a consumer, you can take a decision like whether you should purchase or not a particular commodity, right? So this kind of decision making is enabled in microeconomics. Got it, sir? Yes. Now, here is a key difference point between micro and macro. See, micro deals with determination of price in an individual form, and here macro deals with aggregate measures such as total output, employment, and aggregate price level. Difference, another difference. Central problem is price determination, of how will you identify the price of your product. Macro deals with overall society, income in general. Okay, so here we study topics like demand and supply. Here we talk about topics like aggregate demand and aggregate supply. Mind you, demand and aggregate demand are two different things. When you talk about demand, you're talking about individual consumers' demand. But when you say aggregate demand, you're talking about all the goods and all the consumers in an economy. So these are two different things. Got it, sir? Now, let's come to the main point, which is what is the feature or nature of business economics? Don't be confused. Let me tell you something. Feature or nature is one and the same thing. Let me tell you this. Features and nature are the one and the same thing. Okay? Yes. So this the difference. I actually will go a little fast when topics are not generally that important. Now nobody is asking you difference between micro and macro in exam, right? It's not a descriptive nature. So don't worry, okay? I'll automatically slow down where need is necessary. Okay. So now let's talk about business economics as a science. Because we say business economics is a science. Why, sir? Why? Let me help you. When do we call something a science? Sir, we call something a science when there is a law, when there is something universally applicable, when something has been experimented and tested, then we call that thing a science. For example, Newton's law of motion. So when Newton said to every action there is an equal and opposite reaction, Newton proved it. Then it became a law because it was universal in nature. So whether you are doing that experiment in India or you are doing that experiment on USA, the output will be the same. Whether you are doing it in India or in USA, the output will be the same. Yes, sir, the output will be the same. Now, this is what I'm telling you. This is what I'm telling you. Similarly, my dear friends, in economics, there are a lot of proven principles like law of diminishing marginal utility, right? Law of variable proportion, law of returns to scale. So just like in pure sciences, there is a talk of lot of laws, lot of principles are there. In economics also, there are a lot many proven universal laws. That's why business economics is a science. I'll summarize it in Hindi once again. जिस तरह से साइंस बहुत सारे लॉ, नियम और कानून के अंतर्गत काम करता है, जहां पर हम लोग जो है किसी भी प्रिंसिपल का टेस्टिंग करते हैं, उसकी यूनिवर्सल एप्लीकेबिलिटी चेक करते हैं और फिर वो लॉ लागू होता है ना? ठीक उसी प्रकार जब हम लोग इकोनॉमिक्स को स्टडी करते हैं, इकोनॉमिक्स में जो कॉन्सेप्ट्स हम लोग पढ़ते हैं, जो प्रिंसिपल्स हम लोग पढ़ते हैं, वो पूरे के पूरे इकोनॉमिक्स में एप्लीकेबल है, ना केवल सिर्फ इंडिया में या सिर्फ यूएस में. इसलिए मैं कह रहा हूं कि बिजनेस इकोनॉमिक्स भी एक साइंस है, क्योंकि ये भी प्रिंसिपल पर बेस्ड है, मैथ्स इसके अंदर भी है और चीजें इसमें भी प्रूवन है. Got it, everybody? First feature, everybody, you or no in the chat. फटाफट reply please, so that I can move on to the second one. Okay. Yes. Then it is based on microeconomics. Yes. Why? Because business economics is helping who? It is helping an individual business. Who is it helping? It is helping an individual business to take decisions. Who? It is helping an individual business to take decisions. And that's why we call it microeconomics. Because it is helping individual business. ये किसी एक बिजनेस की मदद कर रहा है कि वो अपना डिसीजन ले पाए. इसलिए हम लोग बोलते हैं कि बिजनेस इकोनॉमिक्स कुछ नहीं, माइक्रो इकोनॉमिक्स. क्लियर है? ओके सर, गॉट इट सर. मूविंग ऑन, इट इनकॉर्पोरेट्स macro elements. Sir, how? Please tell us. I'll tell you guys how it incorporates macro elements. Pay attention, everyone. See, let's say I'll give you an example. Okay, I'll repeat it in English as well as Hindi, so pay attention. Let's say I am talking about launching an earphone. Okay, let's say I'm talking about launching an earphone. Now if I'm launching it in India and if I want to sell it to the masses, if I'm launching an earphone in India and if I'm selling it to the masses, what is the number one thing I need to focus on? What is the number one thing that I need to focus on? Sir, what is the income level of people? So if I, let's say, sell an earphone, which is, let's say, priced at 25,000 rupees, not many will be able to buy that earphone. If I price it at 2,000 or 1,500 or 1,000, maybe now people will be able to buy. So see, in order to take my business decision of what my product price should be, which is microeconomics, I had to see what the income level of the society is, which is macroeconomics. This is why we are saying that when one is making decisions, they have to take into account the macro concepts as well. You cannot remain aloof. Since you are studying micro, you will not consider macro at all, because macro factors also affect the micro ones, right? Like, for example, if government is imposing taxes, it is a macro nature concept, but it will affect each business, so it is micro as well. Understood, sir? Understood, sir. Sir, can you give this example in Hindi once again? Yes, I will repeat it in Hindi. अगर मुझे एक ईयरफोन लॉन्च करना है, ठीक है, तो अगर मुझे वो ईयरफोन लॉन्च करना है, मुझे सबसे पहले देखना होगा कि मैं इसका प्राइस क्या डिसाइड करूं. अब क्योंकि मैं इंडिविजुअल ईयरफोन का प्राइस डिसाइड कर रहा हूं, ये तो माइक्रो इकोनॉमिक्स है, बट इसके लिए मुझे देखना होगा कि कंट्री में, जिस देश में मैं रह रहा हूं, वहां पे लोगों का लगभग इनकम लेवल्स क्या है, लोगों का आर्थिक स्थिति क्या है. बिकॉज अगर मुझे लोगों की आर्थिक स्थिति के बारे में मालूम नहीं है और मैं कुछ भी अनाप शनाप दाम रख दूंगा, तो मेरा प्रोडक्ट तो बिकेगा नहीं. तो इस वजह से मुझे इंडिविजुअली कुछ डिसाइड करने के लिए, जो कि माइक्रो इकोनॉमिक्स में होता है, मुझे नेशनल इनकम को देखना पड़ा, एवरेज इनकम को देखना पड़ा, जो कि मैक्रो इकोनॉमिक्स में होता है. इसीलिए लिखा गया है यहाँ पर कि इट इनकॉर्पोरेट्स मैक्रो एलिमेंट्स एज वेल. My dear friends, first 3 points, I hope it's crystal clear. You or no in the chat, please. Fatafat, come on, mates. Yes, sir. All right, sir. Next, it is based on theory of markets. Sir, what does theory of markets means? My dear friends, theory of market means that each type of business has been divided into some kind of markets. Each type of business has been divided into markets. Like, for example, we will study कुछ markets होता है जिसे हम perfect competition कहते हैं, कुछ को monopoly कहते हैं, कुछ को monopolistic competition कहते हैं. Some are what we call perfect competition, some are what we call monopoly, some are what we call monopolistic competition. What I'm trying to come to here is that whenever we talk about businesses, we are categorizing them under one particular category. Like, for example, if there is a single seller of a product, we will say, yeah, this is a monopoly market. If there is a lot of competition, we might say it is a monopolistic competition. We will study all this. So here we are dividing it in terms of markets, and that's why theory of markets. Okay. Now, sir, it is pragmatic. It is pragmatic. Pragmatic means practical. Pragmatic means practical. What does practical mean? Means it will take into account those concepts. Means it will take into account those concepts and those fundas which are, pay attention, which are applicable in real life. So it is talking about real life problems. More often than not, we are faced in a situation where we are dealing with situations which are not a real life problem. Business economics helps us deal with real life problems. Okay, sir, we got it. Next, it is interdisciplinary in nature. That is when we study about business economics. Or when do we call something interdisciplinary? हम लोग कब किसी चीज को interdisciplinary बुलाते हैं? तब जब उस चीज को expertise हासिल करने के लिए हमें और भी चीजों का knowledge हो. When do we call something interdisciplinary? When to study a particular subject, we need to have knowledge of some other subjects as well. For example, let's say when I decide what price, at what price I should sell it to the consumer, I am also trying to use the principle of psychology. I'm trying to play with consumer psychology. More often than not, tell me if you agree, you will see, let's say a product is costing 999. They will not write 1000. What they will write? They will write 999. Now deciding a product's price is microeconomics, but keeping it at 999 is psychology. Why is it psychology? Because then consumers will think it is 900 something. The 4-digit thing will not come to their mind. There is a bias, isn't it? When you go to a brand like KFC, Okay. When they're trying to say that they are selling non-vegetarian items or the food is very hot, what color are they using? Red. Because they are playing with the psychology, with the sociology of the people. That's what I'm trying to say. Just because you are dealing with business economics, microeconomics, in order to be expert in this, you need to have knowledge of other disciplines like maths, finance, right? Maths, finance, and so many other things. Got it, friends? I believe it is clear. That is interdisciplinary means knowledge from multiple subjects. So it means interdisciplinary means knowledge from multiple subjects, not single subject. Here, to master this, you need knowledge from multiple subjects. Okay, is that so, sir? Yes, that is so, sir. Yes, sir. Understood, sir. And then it is normative. It is normative in nature. What does it mean? Normative. Normative. See, economics can be divided into two sciences. One is positive science. Pay attention, everyone. One is positive science and the other one is normative science. Okay. Let me give you two situations. You will tell me the difference. Okay. Yes, sir. So you go to a doctor. Maybe you had a stomach ache. Okay. You go to a doctor. The doctor tells you that it is a stomach ache because you ate, you know, something, some kind of fast food, let's say. Okay. This is first scenario. Now let's come to second scenario, where the doctor tells you that you have eaten fast food. That's why, you know, you are facing this problem. Now you should take medicine in order to get better, in order to feel better. Oh, sir, we understood. In the first statement, doctor was just describing the problem, that because you ate, you know, this poisonous food, that's why you are facing stomach ache. That is positive science, which describes what is. It only will describe the problem. It will not give you the solution. But what is normative economics? Normative economics tells us what is. And like the doctor prescribed us the medicine, it also tells us what ought to be, what should be done, what policies and programs should the government implement, let's say, to control a problem in the country. So when we are studying economics or business economics is not just there to tell you the problem. Economics is not there to just tell you the problem. It's also there to give you the solution. That's why we say business economics is normative in nature, because when something is positive, it will only describe what is the state of affairs, what the problem is. But normative economics will tell you what should be, what ought to be, what have to be done. Achha. Yes. In first case, the doctor gave us the problem. In second case, he described the problem as well as gave us the solution. Okay. Guys, whenever you are attending this class now, always focus on what I'm teaching, right? Later on, you can open the institute material and you will find out everything is from there. Whatever I'm teaching from institute's material. These are not my own points. My questions will be my own. Some MCQs I will ask you, that will be my own. But it is all from institute study material. But if you just open the page and start getting confused, you will not really study anything. Keep the book inverted, focus on the class. Just like you focus on the movie. When you watch the movie, you're not taking notes, right? You try to understand it first. Same logic, just watch it like a movie. You will understand everything and then you can go on to the book revision part. Everything is from institute's material. Nothing is beyond the material, okay? Now pay attention, everybody. So let's sum it up. Business economics, we studied about 7 features. Number 1, it is science as it is based on principles. Number 2, it's based on microeconomics because here dealing with individual businesses. It incorporates macro elements because the macro factors like inflation, general price level, income levels affect the business. Okay. Theory of markets. Here we categorize it into markets. It is pragmatic, that is practical in nature. It is practical in nature. It is solving real life problems. Interdisciplinary, it derives knowledge from multiple disciplines. It is normative. Normative means it is not only saying what is, it is not only describing the problem, but also giving us the solution. It also tells us what should be. Got it, sir. Let's ask you an MCQ question then, mates. Are you ready, guys? You are no in the chat. Yes, sir, we are ready. Ask the question. So MCQ question number 1 for the day. Okay. Let's see how many of you are able to analyze this. In business economics, we find practical real life problems. This shows what nature of business economics. This shows what nature of business economics. Does it show us the normative nature? Option A. Number B, it shows us the pragmatic nature. C, it shows us the universal nature. Or D, it shows us the interdisciplinary nature. What do you think is the answer in this given question, friends? Come on, let's hear it from you. Let's see how many of you are listening. Oh my God. So let me see who has given correct answer. Miss Thomas, Mahima, Kevin, Bhumika, Ritu, Manish. All right. Samina, Ankita, correct. Oh my God. Gaurav, Ankit. But guys, this is wrong. All of you are giving the correct answer. Then how will I get angry? At least one wrong answer you all give. Everybody's giving the correct answer. Okay, no, I'm joking. Don't give the wrong answer. Yes, you all are correct. It's pragmatic in nature. It's practical in nature. It deals with real life scenarios, which is absolutely correct. And so, yes, we can move on with confidence. All right. Now, let's move on to the next topic. Not the next topic. It's just the extension of what we were already studying. Okay. That in business economics, what are we studying? So here we are studying both the internal as well as the external reduce. Okay. Okay. So let's start. We will discuss the internal uses as well as the external uses or the issues that business economics deals with. So I hope you all are ready. Let's study here. Okay. Number 1, demand analysis. Number 1, demand analysis. It is the internal issue. Why? Because you see, you have a business. You see, you have a business. All right. Now, when you have a business, my dear friends, जब आपका एक बिजनेस, आप सोचे, जब आपका एक बिजनेस है, आप सोचोगे ना कि आपका डिमांड कितने प्रोडक्ट का. सो इट इज इंटरनल इशू. आप सोचोगे ना कि आपका प्रोडक्ट कितना बनना है और कितना कॉस्ट लग रहा है. यू विल थिंक ना दैट व्हाट इज द कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन, हाउ मेनी यूनिट्स यू नीड टू प्रोड्यूस. यू विल डेफिनेटली थिंक अबाउट दैट, राइट? दैट इज देयर. You will definitely think about inventory management. That is, what part of the inventory you need to store and what part of the inventory you need to sell off. Yes, sir, we definitely need that. You will analyze which kind of markets are you in. Is it a competitive market? Is it a monopoly market? See, these issues are internal to be decided within the business. So somehow controllable. Resource allocation. So let's say, for example, if I have 10 units of labor, I can decide that 6 labor will, work on the, let's say, bags. Okay. And the 4 units that I have, let's say they will work on clothes. So I can decide of how I will use my resources. It can be labor, it can be land, it can be machinery, anything. Correct. And it also helps us identify our profit scenario. So you see, internal issues are largely controllable, largely, not completely, but largely controllable policies. But my dear friends, external issues are those issues which we study under business cycle, absolutely. But which we study under business cycle, absolutely. But pay attention. But it is largely uncontrollable. because it is due to factors that are outside a business organization. For example, economic system. What does economic system means? Means we will study it today. Means whether we are living in a capitalist world, a socialist world, what kind of world are we living in? It is to be addressed here. Now, let's say now you all tell me, guys. Let's say in USA, the businesses are able to conduct themselves freely. Why? Because the government has given the economy capitalist nature. But in China, you all tell me, in China, are the businesses free to take their decision completely? You all will obviously tell me no, sir. You all will obviously tell me no, sir. In a particular scenario, let's say outside, they will not be able to take their individual decision. Why they will not be able to take their individual decision? Because it is largely a socialist economy. वहां पर गवर्नमेंट डिसाइड कर रहा है क्या होगा नहीं होगा. तो एक बात आप बताएं, चाहे आपको गवर्नमेंट ने फ्रीडम दिया हो या ना दिया हो, ये आप लोग कंट्रोल कर सकते हो क्या? नहीं सर, दैट्स व्हाई एक्सटर्नल. बट क्या ये आपको अफेक्ट कर रहा है? हाँ सर, दैट्स व्हाई वी आर स्टडीइंग इट अंडर बिजनेस इकोनॉमिक्स. माय डियर फ्रेंड्स, इज दिस क्रिस्टल क्लियर? यू आर नो इन द चैट. कम ऑन एवरीबॉडी. Very good, very good, very good. Now, business cycle. Guys, you all tell me, when this COVID hit 2 years back, जब COVID आया था 2 साल पहले, तब the entire economy went into depression. Depression means where the products were not being sold, there was no demand in the market, people did not have savings, people did not have jobs. You all tell me, can a situation like COVID, which can affect the state of business cycle, like if the businesses are doing great, they can fall down. Can you control it? No. But is it affecting you? Yes. Yes. Government policies. Now, let's say government has decided, now the budget is coming in February, first week itself. Now, if the government decides it will increase taxes for businesses, yes, in a day or two, the budget is coming. If the government is deciding it is giving taxes, अगर गवर्नमेंट डिसाइड करता हम टैक्सेस लगाएंगे, क्या वो बिजनेस को अफेक्ट करेगा? हाँ. बट क्या वो कंट्रोल में है? ना. क्या वो बिजनेस के अंदर डिसीजन लिया जा रहा है? नहीं. वो डिसीजन बिजनेस के बाहर लिया जा रहा है. दैट्स व्हाई वी आर स्टडीइंग इट अंडर एक्सटर्नल इश्यूज हेड. राइट. मूविंग ऑन. सेंट्रल बैंक पॉलिसी. सेंट्रल बैंक, RBI, रिजर्व बैंक ऑफ इंडिया. नाउ व्हेन रिजर्व बैंक ऑफ इंडिया इज टेलिंग, see, whatever rate, let's say I am taking a loan, okay? Let's say this is me, okay? Let's say this is me. This is bank. This is bank, okay? Now, if I am taking a loan from bank, I have to give a certain rate of interest to the bank. I have to give a certain rate of interest to the bank, ROI to the bank. Yes, you definitely have to, sir. Now, what will be the exact ROI? What will be the rate of interest? Who decides that? It is decided by father of all banks. It is the central bank, also called Reserve Bank of India. So if central bank has decided that now the interest rate on loans will be from 6%, it will go to 10%. Can I do anything about it? No. Is it outside my business? Yes. Is it affecting my business? Yes. Acha. Acha, got it. Got it, sir. This is what we are doing, right? And similarly, other social policies also we study here under this particular head. Other social issues like, how much resource has to be allocated so that society is benefited. Whether the society is ready to accept the product or reject the product. Whether to accept the product or to reject the product. Everything is being discussed here. All these are external issues. Okay? So once again, I will explain economic system wala point. By the way, those of you who did not understand economic system, don't worry, because this entire next 30 to 45 minutes, I will only talk about economic system. मैं अगले 30-40 मिनट सिर्फ इकोनॉमिक सिस्टम आपको पढ़ा रहा हूँ. Why? Because हमारा जो यूनिट, जैसे चैप्टर 1 में यूनिट बी है ना, उसमें इकोनॉमिक सिस्टम ही टॉपिक है. बेसिक प्रॉब्लम्स एंड नेचर ऑफ इकोनॉमी. तो डोंट वरी, रिलैक्स. ओके, ऑलराइट गाइस, लेट मी आस्क यू अ क्वेश्चन. मैं एक क्वेश्चन एमसीक्यू का पूछता हूं. लेट्स सी आप लोग में से किन लोग इसको आंसर दे पाते हैं. राइट, लेट्स आस्क यू अ क्वेश्चन देन. ओके, द क्वेश्चन इज question number 2 for the day. government decided to raise taxes for businesses. Do we study it under and then you will have to answer A, B, C or D. A, under business economics, external issues. Option B, business economics, internal issues. C, macroeconomics. D, none of above. D, none of above. So I will read out the entire question for you all. That the government has decided to raise the taxes for businesses. Government has decided to raise the taxes for businesses. Where do we study it? Under business eco in external issues, under business eco in internal issues, under the macroeconomics head, or none of all these? What say, guys? What say, guys? Come on, answer it. You can just point out the number, like you believe it is A, B, C or D, and that's great. Okay, so most of you are giving absolutely correct answer. Almost everybody has given correct answer. Yes, the answer is business economics deals with external issues in this particular scenario. Because government is outside, you are not taking decision on your own behalf, and therefore it is external in nature. And therefore it is external in nature. Sir, got it, sir. Sir, we got it. Now having said that, guys, I'll give you a good news. Do you know, guys, what, sir? Do you know, guys, that if you understood so far whatever we have done, so chapter 1, unit 1 is over. All the important things have been covered. Almost everything has been covered. Is it crystal clear? Can I move on to unit B, chapter 1? What say, guys? You or no, sir? And obviously, sir, yes, Kevin is asking what is business cycle. Okay, Kevin, so hear it. Business cycle. Kevin, what happens is in an economy, you know, there are many upswings and downswings. Like there is a time period when all businesses will do, generally all businesses will do well. So economy will grow. But then you hear it from the stock markets, the market went down. So generally all the businesses are making losses. Like in COVID, it will hit rock bottom. Again, economy will rise. Again, it will fall. So this upswing and downswing in the economy is called business cycle. And guess what? The last chapter of business economics, when we will do, it will be business cycle only. You can check it in the book itself. The name of the chapter is business cycle. So don't worry. A lot is to be discussed. And yes, sir, there will be no break. This is the good news for you all. We will continuously focus, we will continuously study because it keeps the flow on. And come on, we will be sitting for 3 hours examination. If we can't sit and study, come on, friends. You all are my friends. If you cannot sit and study for 1 hour, 50 minutes or 2 hours, how can we give a 3-hour exam at a go? So no break, okay? Let's move on. All right. Now moving on to the second unit. Sir, what does the second unit deal with? My dear friends, as you can clearly see, second unit deals with basic problems of economy as well as nature of economic system. Ruby is asking what is political environment, social environment. Ruby, basically, it is about how people will behave, consumers' tastes and preferences. Understood? All right. Yes. Swati is correct. The first unit is like a summary of entire eco syllabus. Absolutely. Well put, Swati. Okay. So nature of economic system. We will do that. All right. So let's go about it, friends. So what are the central problems of economy? What are the central problems of an economy? My dear friends, there are four problems of economy. There are four main problems of economy. Okay. So there are four major problems of economy. Number one, what to produce. Number two, how to produce. Number three, for whom to produce. And the last one is economic growth provision. Okay. So with that being said, let's try and understand things. All right. Let's go. See, the first question is, what is to be produced? What to produce? Listen up. The first question is, what is to be produced? What to produce? Achha, by the way, let me highlight for you one person. Lionel Robbins. Lionel Robbins. Write down everybody. Lionel Robbins. L-I-O-N-E-L. Lionel R-O-B-B-I-N-S. He was one of those people who gave a groundbreaking definition of economics. It was not the best, but one of the very good definitions. What did Lionel Robbins say? He gave us the scarcity definition of economics. What does the scarcity definition say, sir? Scarcity definition क्या बोलता है? See, scarcity definition बोलता है. I'll explain it in both languages. Don't worry, English as well as Hindi. Please listen carefully, okay? Scarcity definition tells us that whatever we are doing in an economy, like I am teaching, you are studying, or somebody is selling a product, all of us are doing because of one problem, one major problem. Or two, you can say. It is unlimited demand, but limited resources. No matter how much I get, how much we get, we always want more. We always want more. We always want to upscale. We always want that extra thing. Right? Yes, sir, right. That's what Robbins tells us. That this is where the problem arises. Now you think, guys, obviously there are a lot of resources in the economy. So if everybody would have distributed equally, nobody would have been greedy, then we did not need to work. I will not have to teach because I will get my food. You will not have to study. After all, you all are studying, so you get better jobs so that you can buy good resources, good amount of resources. If the resources were distributed equally, nobody had greed, nobody had unlimited demands. There was no need for any economic activity in general. Yes. Such a basic yet important observation was made by Robbins. And that's why we studied under scarcity definition. Robbins tells us that the problem is that resources are limited. Resources are limited. Pay attention. What is Robbins telling? Resources are limited. The total wood is limited in the economy. Let's say the total copper is limited in the economy. The total plastic is limited in the economy. So resources are limited. But what about wants? Our wants are, yes, you guessed it right. Our wants are unlimited. This is why the economic problem arises. Now, what are the problems that arise? Now, the problem is what to produce. Problem number one, what to produce. You all think it logically, guys. If you could have produced anything in infinite amount, then this wouldn't have been a problem. But the problem is resources are limited. To produce, you need resources. You need raw material. You need input. Now you will tell me, is this input or the resource unlimited? It's limited. Is the resource unlimited? No, it's limited. And therefore, let's say I have a business of leather. Let's say I have raw material as leather. Now guys, pay attention. With this leather, I cannot, decide that I will produce infinite number of leather belts. I will produce infinite number of leather bags. I will produce, infinite number of leather jackets and so on and so forth. I cannot leather shoes. I cannot go on like this. All infinite, no. Since leather is limited, now I will have to decide whether I will produce more of belts and bags or more of jackets and shoes. This is problem number one. What to produce and how much to produce. Not only what, how much, also how much. So whenever you study what to produce, you add it and write what to produce and how much to produce, because you cannot produce everything infinite. Oh, sir, it is logical, sir. Yes, my dear friends, it is logical. That's why I love economics so much. Moving on. What to produce? How much to produce? Then next question is how to produce. Like for example, there are two techniques of production mainly. Actually, there is always a third one, but we are talking about mainly two techniques. Number one is capital intensive technique. Capital intensive technique, and the other one is labor intensive technique. Sir, what is the meaning of capital intensive and labor intensive? Capital intensive means when you use more of machines in your business and less of labor. What is labor intensive technique? Labor intensive technique is when you use more of labor. Labor intensive technique. Come on, guys. Come on. What is labor intensive technique? When you use more of labor and less of machine. So it is C. It is absolutely incorrect. If you think capital intensive means only machine, no labor, and labor intensive is only labor, no machine. Absolutely wrong, impractical, not possible. Understood? So pay attention. When we talk about capital intensive, means more machine, less labor. When we talk about labor intensive, more labor, less machine. Now, the economic problem is when I have decided that I'll produce something. When I've decided that I'll produce something, the bigger question in mind is, pay attention. That since I've decided I'll produce, bigger question in mind is how? Will I employ more of machines or will I employ more of people? That is the decision to be taken. So that is the second problem of economy. And you see, it is very close to business. That's why we call it business economics. The first problem with the business was what should I produce? Should I produce guns? Should I produce bread? Should I produce butter? And if yes, then how much? The second is, how do I produce them? Should I hire more of machines, less of labor, or more of labor, less of machine? Oh, third problem is for whom to produce? Who am I selling it to? Who is the buyer of my product? Who are we selling it to? Who are we selling it to? Who will get my product? Who is the beneficiary of my product? Achha. Is it the rich people? Like, for example, if I'm, let's say, making a sports car like Ferrari, Jaguar, it's the rich people. If I'm producing necessities, it's for all, rich as well as poor or middle class. Right? So that's what we are to decide. Like, who is my target group? TC, target customer. And finally, economic growth vision. This issue was highlighted by Professor Samuelson. That is it possible that in future, economy grows, the resources grow. In future, the resources grow. Is it possible or not possible? Absolutely, yes, it is possible. Huh? So you will ask me, how is it possible, sir, that resources will grow in the future? Yes, that's possible, friends. I'll tell you how. My dear friends, it's possible because you see of internet. If you go 25, 30 years later, or let's go into the period of 1990s later on. That time internet was only meant for US Army. Later on, it went for US people in general. And it was very costly. Today, is internet costly? Come on, not at all. Is mobile phone costly? Is television costly today? No. It is because the resources, the technology has improved and grown. So economic problem is also whether this resource or the means to produce this resource will grow in the future or not. अब मैं इसी पूरी चीज को हिंदी में समराइज कर देता हूं. लायनल रॉबिन्स ने दिया था स्कैर्सिटी डेफिनेशन, जो बोलता है कि इकोनॉमी में एक मेजर प्रॉब्लम है कि भैया हम लोग प्रोड्यूस क्या करें. और ये प्रॉब्लम्स क्यों है? क्योंकि हमारा ग्रीड, हमारा जो वांट्स है वो अनलिमिटेड है, और हमारे वांट्स को सेटिस्फाई करने के लिए जो इकोनॉमी में रिसोर्सेज अवेलेबल है वो लिमिटेड है। तो परेशानी ये होती है कि अब हम लोग लिमिटेड रिसोर्स से अपना अनलिमिटेड वांट्स तो पूरा कर नहीं सकते हैं। तो हमें डिसाइड करना होगा कि हमें किस वांट को पूरा करना है, किसको नहीं। तो पहला क्वेश्चन था क्या बनाओगे एज अ बिजनेस। पहला इकोनॉमिक प्रॉब्लम है, आपको प्रोड्यूस क्या करना चाहिए, किस प्रोडक्ट को बनाना चाहिए, किस चीज के बिजनेस में एंटर करना चाहिए और उसे कितना बनाना चाहिए। नंबर 1। नंबर 2, तो पहला क्वेश्चन है व्हाट, क्या बनाए। हाउ टू प्रोड्यूस, कैसे बनाए, लेबर लगाएं या मशीनें ज्यादा लगाएं। तीसरा, फॉर हुम टू प्रोड्यूस, ये प्रोडक्ट किसके लिए बनाए, किसको फायदा होगा। और फोर्थ, इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ प्रोविजन, फ्यूचर में ये जो रिसोर्सेज आज हम लोग बना रहे हैं, ये टेक्नोलॉजी और ये रिसोर्स बढ़ेगा कि नहीं बढ़ेगा। यस सर, ये है 4 मेजर central problems of the economy. My dear friends, is that crystal clear? Yes or no? In the chat, everybody right now. Come on everyone, is it crystal clear? You or no in the chat, friends? Yes sir, it is. So now moving on, if it is crystal clear, let's move on. Yes. And Mahima, it doesn't matter in what order you study. Yes, Aryan, you are correct. In Mahima, it doesn't matter in what order you study all. Yes, Swati, yes, Kevin, you are correct. All right, let's go ahead. Okay, fourth problem is economic growth provision. Fourth problem means, is it possible to grow resources in the future? फ्यूचर में रिसोर्स को बढ़ा सकते हैं क्या? जैसे आज इंटरनेट की टेक्नोलॉजी बढ़ गई, वैसे ही हम लोग जिस बिजनेस को कर रहे हैं उस बिजनेस का फ्यूचर में ग्रोथ होगा ना, उस बिजनेस में आगे भी चांसेस है ना। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर आप आज आप सोचते हो कि हम लोग जो है ना ओरिजिनल जो डेस्कटॉप कंप्यूटर होता था वो प्रोड्यूस करेंगे, तो आपको लगता है आपका बिजनेस चलेगा? नहीं, बिकॉज अब उसका डिमांड ही ग्रो नहीं करेगा, अब उसका रिसोर्सेज ही खत्म हो गया है। अब फ्यूचर में ग्रो करेगा आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, सो पैसे वहां लगाएं, उस चीज का बिजनेस में एंटर करें, उस चीज के बिजनेस में एंटर करें। ओके, इट इज क्लियर सर। Let's move on guys. Types of economic system. I told you now, we were discussing that economic system. I told you that around 20 to 30 minutes I'll spend here only. So let's start that. Let's discuss our journey. So my dear friends, in economic system, there are mainly 3 types of economic systems. Okay? Capitalist, socialist, mixed nature economy. What is capitalist economy? Lovely friends, capitalist economy is the one which is dominated by private businesses. Simply speaking, it is also called laissez-faire economy, where the government interference is minimal. Yes, government is there. Government will run the entire country, but government will not run the businesses. They will take the taxes, but it will not interference with business decision making. That is capitalist economy. It's called laissez-faire. Laissez-faire means free from government interference. What is it? Laissez-faire. Laissez-faire means free from government interference. Laissez-faire means free from government interference. Is that so, sir? Yes, that is so, friends. Moving on. Sir, what is socialist economy? First, I'll brief you and then we'll discuss in details. Don't worry. Okay? Our entire discussion is based around this. Socialist economy is basically an economy which is largely controlled by government. Government will even interfere in businesses. They will run the country, but day-to-day decision making also they will interfere. You've got to be smart here, friends. Acha. And what is mixed economy, sir? Sir, the question is, what is mixed economy? My dear friends, mixed economy is the one which is both in nature. What does it mean, both in nature? It means there is businesses as well as government. So both are controlling the economy. Like India is a mixed economy. But yes, we will discuss each one of them. I have tried to give you a very small version of this, that in capitalist economy, only private sectors dominate. Government does not itself enter into any kind of business decision making. Socialist government is the main thing, and in mixed, both are working together. So that is something that all of us understand, right? Not a big deal. Now here is a gentleman. How many of you will tell me who is he? Come on, come on, come on. Obviously, picture-based question will not come. It's just for your benefit I am made all these. Okay? Yes. Our friends are correct here. Our friends are telling, sir, this is Mr. Adam Smith. Yes. He is called the father of economics. It is him who propagated this idea of what? Of economics. And also he focused on the capitalist nature of economy. Capitalist nature. So if somebody asks you who was Adam Smith, he was a capitalist. He focused on the fact that enterprises should be run by businesses and government should not interfere. So founder of capitalist ideology. If somebody asks you who brought in the capitalist ideology in the world, it was Mr. Adam Smith. It was Mr. Adam Smith. Yes. It was Mr. Adam Smith. All right, sir. So now if we move on to the concept further, if we have discussed Adam Smith, now let's understand some features of capitalist economy. Because if you understand features, it is enough. You don't need to study anything. You need to study everything, but you will understand everything only if you know features properly. So with that being said, let's attack. Let's study features of capitalist economy. Let's study features of capitalist economy all at once. Let's go about it. Let's go about it, guys. Features of capitalist economy. Number one. What is feature number one, sir? Here there is right to private property. So each one of us can have our personal homes. We can pass it on. Right to private property. You can own resources. Yes. Right to private property. Next, number two. Yes. If you ask me personally, guys, sorry to interrupt, but Adam Smith gave this definition in 1776. The thing is that when British came in with people like Lord Macaulay and all, they brought in Western education. If you ask me personally, it was Chanakya. His book was Arthashastra. That was written way back, around more than 2,000, 3,000 years back. But yes, unfortunately, we are studying Western education and therefore it is it. So many of you may ask, sir, what about Arthashastra written by Chanakya? Yes, but it is not acknowledged in our books. Okay. So that is okay. Now that is the system that is running. It's not to be criticized. It's what we have to study. What is going on, we will study that only. So not a big deal. Now moving on. Right to private property. Number one. Number two, freedom of enterprise. Freedom of enterprise. Freedom of enterprise means, what does it mean? Freedom of enterprise. My dear friends, freedom of enterprise means that each businessman is free to decide what business they want to enter. Only it should be legal. Bus. Each consumer has freedom. Freedom. Each consumer has freedom. Whatever they want to buy, they can buy. Whatever they want to buy, they can buy. Moving on. Number three. Profit motive. Yes, a very important point indeed. This economy is characterized by profit motive. Here the objective is to make profits. People are not doing business for society. They are doing it for their profits. Consumer sovereignty. Yes. Here the market realizes that consumer is the king. Consumer sovereignty. Who is the king? Yes, you are correct. Consumer is the king here. Who is the king? Come on. Consumer is the king here. Number four. Who is the king? You are correct. Consumer is the king. Because all decisions are taken around consumer. Because see, if you don't focus around consumer, अगर आप consumer पे focus नहीं कीजिएगा, आप वैसा product नहीं बना पाएंगे. अगर आप consumer पे focus नहीं कीजिएगा, आप वैसा product नहीं बना पाएंगे. अगर आप वैसा product नहीं बना पाएंगे, if you don't focus on the consumer, you will not be able to make such a product. If you are not able to make such a product, obviously you will not be able to generate profit. If you don't focus on consumer, you will not be able to make such a product, so you will not be able to make profit. I will repeat again for you. अगर आप consumer के around product नहीं बनाएंगे, आप profit नहीं कर पाएंगे. So consumer sovereignty is very important. Consumer is the king. जो भी decision आप लोगे, whatever decision you take, you keep in mind who? You keep in mind the consumer. आप consumer को दिमाग में रख के decision लोगे. Correct? Number 5. Moving on. It's characterized by competition. Yes, there are people who are competing. There are other businesses too. There are other businesses too. Yes, that's important. There are other businesses who are trying to work, trying to make their gains. Point number 5 it is. Let's move on to point number 6. Here, it is laissez-faire in nature. Laissez-faire means government won't interfere. Yes, government will charge taxes. Government not interfering. Yes, government will charge taxes. Yes, government will ensure that you are doing legal business, but government will not, try to intervene in your day-to-day business decision making. This is the relief here. It is a relief here. Okay, sir, we got it. So the following points you have highlighted, sir. There is a right to private property. There is freedom of enterprise. You can do your business. Right. You are freedom of enterprise plus freedom of choice. That is, you can decide on what product you want to consume. Nobody is stopping you. Profit motive is there. Consumer is the king here. Who is the king? Come on, consumer is the king here. There is competition here, and along with it, this economy is laissez-faire. Laissez-faire means here there is no government interfering. My dear friends, is capitalist economy crystal clear? Yes or no, friends? Yes or no? Come on, friends. Come on. Okay, this is clear. So if this much is clear, come on, tell me. Okay, so one of our friends is telling, sir, explain the fourth one. Fourth one is consumer sovereignty. Consumer sovereignty means consumer is the king. Whatever decision you will take keeping in mind the demands of the consumer, keeping in mind the situation of consumers. You will not take decisions suo motu, that is on your own. You will always keep consumer first, and accordingly you will make the product. I hope it's clear. Now a bigger question arises, that how to solve the economic problems. How economic problems are solved in a capitalist economy. How economic problems are solved in a capitalist economy. Yes? Yes, sir. Number one. Pay attention, everybody. Now it's very important. The problem was how to produce, what to produce. See. So what to produce? The answer is simple. What is the answer? You will produce what maximizes your profit. That gives you maximum profit, plus that your consumers will purchase. Plus what your consumer will purchase. Plus what your consumer will purchase. The answer is simple. How economic problem solved in a capitalist economy? What was the problem? What to produce? You will produce what your consumer will purchase. Number 2. How to produce? Obviously, you will produce in a way that again the same answer. Your profit is maximized. Cost is minimized. Because after all, you are working for profits here. Number 3. In this economy, for whom are you producing? For whom to produce? Who are you producing it for? You are producing here for the person who has the ability to pay. जो पैसे दे पाएगा कैपिटलिस्ट इकोनॉमी में आप उसके लिए प्रोड्यूस कर रहे हो. People who will be ready to pay for your product, you are producing for them. So for whom to produce? People with ability to pay. So if you have the ability to pay, The production is taking place for your need. If you don't have the ability to pay, it's not for you. Simple logic. Okay, sir. All right, sir, we got it. So these are the three major points. So simply speaking, all the decisions are taken keeping in mind what? Keeping in mind profits. Full stop. The key word here is profits. So, sir, is capitalist economy good or bad? What are its merits and demerits? Now, my dear friends, if you look at the features carefully, you will understand both merits and demerits. That's why I told to study merits and demerits, study the features. To study merits and demerits, study the features. Now I will explain once again. Pay attention about merits and demerits. Number one, advantage number one. Here there is a right to private property. So you can own private property. Number two, you can pass it on to your next generation. That is an advantage of capitalist economy. In capitalist economy, the advantage is you have freedom. So nobody is restricting you. You can do whatever business as long as it is legal. You can purchase whatever you want to as long as it is legal. You can make profits. Here, consumer is the king. So consumer gets a good feeling here because everything is intending to solve consumer's problem. These are the merits. Here, there is no government interference. So the quality of decision making is good. Since there is competition in capitalist economy, क्योंकि capitalist economy में competition है, थोड़ा सा सोचिए आप, क्योंकि capitalist economy में competition है, तो हर कोई ensure करेगा कि consumer को अच्छे से serve करे. Because अगर आप consumer को cheat करोगे, आपका competition, आपका जो consumer है वो competition के पास चले जाएगा. Think if there is no competition. If there is no competition, then you know whatever produce you will produce, it will be sold. So businesses will not focus on quality. They will charge high prices. But in this world, there is what? There is competition. Because of competition, two benefits arise. Number one, none of them are charging extra because they know that consumer will go to the competitor. And number two, everybody is maintaining good quality. You see Haldiram's, Bikaram, all these sweet shops, they are not degrading the quality of their product because they know if once they do this, consumer will never return. They will go to the competition. So the advantage is with the consumer. Okay, yes, sir. Yes, sir, we agree. But, sir, is there any problem in capitalist economy? Yes, there is some problem with capitalist economy. Sir, what? Number one problem of capitalist economy is it focuses on profit. It ignores social welfare. It doesn't consider the society's interest. So if let's say somebody, I'll give you an example. In cities where there is extreme heat waves, where the summers are very hot, air conditioner is a necessity. But do you think air conditioner company is going to reduce the price just because it is a necessity there? In fact, they will charge more. Air conditioner company doesn't care whether a poor person unable to pay for AC is sleeping in, you know, high heat range. They only care about profits. So social welfare is ignored in capitalism. As a result, the second demerit in capitalist economy arises. What is the second demerit? Inequality. Rich will become very rich, poor will become very poor. Got it, sir. Third problem is the focus on meritorious products like healthcare, hospitals will be less. What will be the focus be on? Focus will be on luxurious items because it will give more profits. It ignores human welfare. Here there will be inequality and injustice because rich will get richer, poor will get poorer. So this is all about capitalist economy. Merits, demerits, features, how to solve problems. I've explained everything. Is that crystal clear, friends? Yes or no, please? In the chat, everybody. Yes, sir, it's clear indeed. तो कैपिटलिस्ट इकोनॉमी के मेरिट्स और डिमेरिट्स में हिंदी में समराइज कर देता हूं. मेरिट्स ये है कि कंज्यूमर पर फोकस होगा, कंपटीशन होने की वजह से हर प्रोड्यूसर अपने प्रोडक्ट के ऊपर अच्छे से ध्यान देगा, चीट नहीं करेगा कंज्यूमर। तीसरा मेरिट ये है, फायदा ये है कि कंज्यूमर के पास चॉइस है, प्रोड्यूसर के पास चॉइस है, उसे जो बनाना है वो बना सके। पांचवा बेनिफिट ये है कि क्योंकि आप प्राइवेट प्रॉपर्टी ओन कर सकते हो, आप अपने नेक्स्ट जनरेशन को वो पास कर सकते हो। ठीक है, बट प्रॉब्लम्स ये है कि यहां पर फोकस प्रॉफिट पर है, वेलफेयर पर नहीं। यहां पर अमीर और अमीर हो जाएगा, गरीब और गरीब हो जाएगा। अंडरस्टूड गाइस? अब क्लियर होगा आई बिलीव। Yes, it is also called laissez-faire. What is the spelling? So in exam, if it comes, please remember, capitalist economy is called laissez-faire. Lissez, laissez, F-A-I-R-E, fair, free from government interference. Laissez-faire means free from government interference. Moving on. Can you identify this gentleman, friends? Come on, everybody. Can you identify this gentleman here? Yes, most of you are correct. Very good. Wow. So the answer is Karl Marx. Yes. Karl Marx. Guys, Karl Marx, along with Friedrich Engels, you know, there is another person, Friedrich Engels. I'll write it down. Friedrich Engels. Both of them wrote a book. Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels, both of them together wrote a book. It is called the Communist Manifesto. I'll write down the book's name in case anybody of you is interested to read. It's called Communist Manifesto. Communist Manifesto. Karl Marx was a very strong propagator of socialist economy. Adam Smith, capitalist; Karl Marx, socialist. Karl Marx, socialist. Karl Marx, socialist. Karl Marx strongly believed that the entire resources for production, जितने भी resources production के लिए है, entire resources for production should be owned by the government. जो भी resources production के लिए वो सरकार के हाथ में होने चाहिए, private businesses के हाथ में नहीं. Because Karl Marx said private businesses exploit करेंगे लोगों को, private businesses लोगों का advantage लेंगे, लोगों के साथ बुरा करेंगे, तो government equality के लिए होना चाहिए. Guys, do you agree with Karl Marx? Come on, yaar. What say? What say? Now I'll love to hear your opinion. Yes, most of you are saying no, sir, we don't. But my dear friends, there is a catch here. If you talk about today you may say that we don't agree with Karl Marx. Some of you may say we agree, but some of you may not agree. But try to understand, when did Karl Marx write this? Today I'll tell you one thing, guys. Now pay attention. Now pay attention. Whenever you study a book, whenever you study an opinion, always study at what age, what time period was it written. Karl Marx had not written this book in 2020. It was around the year 1940s to 50s. Not even 1940s to 50s, I would say. It's wrong. It was later 1850s, late half of 1850s and 1900s beginning. So, sir, try to understand. It is the time period of what? ये इंडस्ट्रियल रेवोल्यूशन का टाइम पीरियड है. During industrial revolution, do you know what happened? Nowadays, what happens? When you people will become chartered accountants, generally, you will work from Monday to Friday. Saturday, Sunday, you will relax. Saturday, Sunday, you will rest. And Monday to Friday, how many hours you will work? Around 8 hours you will work, right? Yes, sir. So, here is the catch. This was not the case with Mr. Marx. When Karl Marx was there, during the time of industrial revolution, people were made to work 14 hours, all 7 days of a week. And you know what they were said when they wanted to go home? That, see, you need to sleep for 8 hours. So they were told, why don't you sleep in the factory itself? Why waste time going home? As it is, you have to return within 8 hours and you sleep for 8 hours. You will take time in returning. It is better you sleep in the factory, you wake up and start working. Come on, guys. Is this the kind of life you will appreciate? Karl Marx was looking at those things. And that's why he proposed the idea of socialism. Because, you know, the idea of socialism is to be free from the clutches of private businessmen. Oh. Okay, got it, sir. Got, sir. Yes, sir, got it, sir. This is what we are talking about. Yes, this is what we are talking about. This is what socialist economy is all about. Acha? Yes, this is what socialist economy is all about. Let's go about it, sir. So some important features of socialist economy. Some important features of socialist economy. Features. Number one, collective ownership. One person is not the owner of resources. Collective ownership. One person is not the owner of resources. It is an economy characterized by collective ownership. It is an economy characterized by collective ownership. Everybody is the owner here of resources. Everybody is controlling resources. Everybody is working with resources. Is that so, sir? Yes, that is so. So it is characterized by collective ownership. Government, mainly government is monitoring these resources. So strong government control. Number two, it is characterized by economic planning. What does it mean? Economic planning means who will take all the decisions? All decision, yes, you are correct, will be taken by the government. All major decisions will be taken by who? All major decisions will be taken by the government. कौन लेगा decision? Government लेगा decision. Okay, economic planning. Sir, is there consumer freedom here? No. Consumer doesn't have the right to choose. Consumers will have to buy whatever government is making available. So absence of consumer choice in that matter. Consumer नहीं choose कर सकता. Understood? Consumer cannot take decision. Consumers cannot take decisions. Number three. Number four. Yes, here there is no inequality to relatively equal income distribution. Because government is the only employer. So there is no employer and employee. Only government is there. So relatively equal incomes. Relatively equal incomes. Number five, minimum role of price mechanism. Very important topic. What is price mechanism? What is price mechanism? Here there is minimum role of it. But the question is, what is price mechanism? Question. What is price mechanism? I'll tell you guys. All of you will have to write it down in the chat. Price mechanism is a method. Price mechanism is a method that is used in capitalist economy. Come on, everybody, in the chat. In what economy? Capitalist economy. Come on, what do you say? Where is price mechanism used? In capitalist economy. I know you're wondering what is private price mechanism. It's all right. But where is it used? First of all, write down in the chat, everybody. Where is price mechanism used? It's used in the capitalist economy. Price mechanism कहाँ use होता है? Price mechanism use होता है capitalist economy में. Okay, sir, got it. Moving on. Moving on. This we understood, sir. But sir, what is it? What is it? Guys, I'll give you a situation. Pay attention, okay? I'm explaining price mechanism, by the way. So let's say here I write price, here I write quantity demanded, here I write quantity supplied. So three price levels I am writing down: 10 rupees, 20 rupees, 30 rupees. So let's say price of 10 rupees, the demand was 2000 units. Okay. When price rose, people started, fearing, yeah, it is too high. So people said, yeah, we are going to purchase only 1400 units, let's say. And when price rose even further, the demand fell down to 600 units merely. Let's talk about quantity supplied. As far as quantity supplied is concerned, when price was 10, quantity supplied was somewhere around 500 units. When price rose up, the quantity supplied rose to 1400 units. When price went further up, quantity supplied went to 2000. So coincidentally, there was a price of 20 rupees at which quantity demanded was almost or exactly equal. It is not that it will always be 1400, it can almost be equal. So at price of 20 rupees, quantity demanded was equal to quantity supplied. Such a scenario is used in capitalist economy to decide prices. To decide prices. Such a mechanism is used in which economy? Capitalist economy. To decide the prices of the commodities. That's called price mechanism. That is price mechanism. So price mechanism is a situation where prices are determined at a point where quantity demanded is equals to quantity supplied. The price at which this is equal, that is demand and supply are equal, that is the price that will dominate in a capitalist economy. This is how a capitalist class is making decision. What the consumers are willing to pay equal to what the suppliers are willing to take. The price at which the demand and supply of both this is equal, that is the price that is going to dominate the market. That's what price mechanism is all about. Come on, mates. Yes or no in the chat box, please. Yes, sir. So this is not there in socialist economy. In socialist economy, government is deciding the price. Everything is decided by the government. Also in socialist economy, one more feature I will like to add. Since government is taking all the decision, also, yes, I will repeat. Also in socialist economy, I will like to add one more point. Since government is taking all the decision, so there is no business, so no competition. Here there is no competition whatsoever. Okay? Absence of competition. What is it? Absence of competition. There is no competition. Why? Because only government is doing business, only government is the seller of products, so there is no competition. Okay? And what is price mechanism? जिस प्राइस पर प्रोडक्ट का डिमांड और प्रोडक्ट का सप्लाई इक्वल होता है, जिस दाम पर प्रोडक्ट का डिमांड और सप्लाई इक्वल होता है, वही दाम मार्केट में चार्ज किया जाता है कैपिटलिस्ट इकोनॉमी में. उस प्राइस को प्राइस मैकेनिज्म बोलते हैं, या उस तरीके को प्राइस की निकालने की उस तरीके को हम लोग प्राइस मैकेनिज्म बोलते हैं. क्लियर है ना? यस सर, क्रिस्टल क्लियर है. मूविंग ऑन. सो गाइस, बिफोर आई मूव ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट इकोनॉमी, a MCQ question awaits. Next question for the day. An economy with lesser inequalities. A, capitalist. B, socialist. C, both. D, none. What say, guys? Very good. Lesser inequality, lesser inequality, lesser inequality. You all are absolutely correct. Wow. Socialist. Capitalist mein to it's high inequality, Baba. Okay. So now, sir, is there some merits and demerits of socialist economy? Yes, there is. Absolutely, there is. There are both good points and bad points. Sir, like, can you explain us some? I will definitely explain you some. Merits of socialist economy. If you think it this way, merits of socialist economy. You know, number one, the main objective here is, yes, societal welfare. Number two, the main merit here is there is no inequality or reduced inequalities. The gap is there, it is less. You know, here what is the focus on? Focus on necessary goods. It focuses on producing necessary goods rather than luxury goods. Acha. No class-based division. Here the merit is no class-based division. So there is nothing called employer and employee. There is no such division. Only government is there, others are equal. No class-based division. Acha, sir. We get it, sir. It ensures minimum standard of living. You know, things like minimum standard of living, you know, then the right to work, everything is present here. Standard of living, right to work, etc. is present here. So that's great. But is it free from demerits? Absolutely not. It is also having a lot many demerits. Can you show us some, sir? Yes, sir. Come on here. Okay, sir. So the question is, now the question is, I'll repeat all the points. The merit is number one, social welfare, reduced inequality, focuses on necessary goods, there is no class-based division, and the fifth one is minimum, you know, standard of living is ensured. There is right to work with the people. So everyone will get a minimum salary. Now there are demerits. But before I ask any question, first let's discuss the demerits. Okay? Before any question. So what is the number one demerit? Guys, the number one demerit here is number one demerit. What is the number one demerit? The number one demerit here is, my dear friends, here there is bureaucracy. That is government interference. There is bureaucracy. So there will be bureaucracy. So there will be government interference. There will be red tapeism. What is red tapeism, sir? Do any of you know what is red tapeism? Red tapeism means delay in decisions. Delay in decisions. Delay in decision making. Because you know what happened in old days? In government office, if there was file submitted, people would tie it up with a red tape and put it in the almirah, never to see it again. So there was a lot of decision making lag in decision making. This is called bureaucracy. That is government interference and red tapeism, lack of decision making, delay in decision making. Number two, restricted freedom. Now you see, you are in an economy where you don't have freedom to do business. You are in an economy where you don't have freedom to do business. You are in an economy where you don't have freedom to do business. You are working in a situation where, you know, you cannot buy whatever you want to buy. So there is a lack of freedom here. Here there is no private property, no right to private property. So what does it mean, sir? I will explain. So for example, if you were in a capitalist economy, if your father had a house or if your mother had a house, it would eventually be yours. But in socialist economy, if the government has allotted your family a piece of land to reside, it doesn't mean that you can pass it on to your future generation. No, government may take it up from you. It is not your land, it is government's. So government can waive the right whenever it wants to. So there is no, you know, private property assured or guaranteed here. Number four, lack of initiative. Lack of initiative. Why, sir? Lack of initiative. Why, sir? I don't understand, sir. I'll tell you why. The reason is lack of initiative. The reason is very simple. You will see in capitalist economy, whatever you were working, if you are doing good, you will make higher profits. Higher profits would mean what? Higher profit would mean, what would higher profit mean? Higher profit would mean greater satisfaction. So you will want to work more, because the better you work, the better salaries you get, the better customers you get, more the customers you get. Here salary is fixed. Here salary is, no, if you will tell me, like you can hear in my voice, you know I'm in Josh. But if say my salary is fixed, I can go like, okay, you all study, I will help you in your doubts. My energy will be very low. Isn't it? That is what it is talking about. Because why will I want to work hard when even without working hard, I can get that salary? Try and understand. If by working hard or not working hard, my salary or my position remains the same, why the hell will I try to work hard? What would motivate me to do better? Nothing. So that is a big demerit. Number 5, here there will be government monopoly. So indirectly you are creating government as a monopoly. That is another demerit of socialism. My dear friends, have you understood this? Crystal clear? Yes or no? Come on, everybody. So here, any economic problem is solved how? By government. By government. Who decides all and who solves all the problem? Government. It is also called economic planning. It is also called economic planning. It is also called economic planning. Is it crystal clear, friends? Yes or no in the chat, please. Come on. Yes, sir, it is clear. Sir, once again, merits of socialism. Okay, I will repeat. पहली merit क्या है? Social welfare. पहली merit है, I will repeat it in Hindi again, ठीक है? Social welfare. Social welfare मतलब यहाँ पर गवर्नमेंट फोकस करेगा सोसाइटी का भला करने का. प्रॉफिट मोटिव से गवर्नमेंट यहाँ काम नहीं करेगा, क्योंकि इस इकोनॉमी को गवर्नमेंट चला रहा है. गवर्नमेंट प्रॉफिट के लिए नहीं, सबके भले के लिए चलाएगा, क्योंकि वोट गवर्नमेंट को सबसे मिलने वाला है. इस सोसाइटी में इनइक्वालिटी नहीं है. क्यों? क्योंकि ऐसा कोई है ही नहीं कि किसी के पास रिसोर्स है किसी के पास नहीं. गवर्नमेंट ने सबको इक्वली बांटा है जो बांटा है. फोकस नेसेसरी गुड्स. इस इकोनॉमी में गवर्नमेंट जो है नेसेसिटीज पर ध्यान देगा. गवर्नमेंट लंबोर्गिनी या जैगवार जैसी गाड़ियों पर फोकस नहीं करेगा. गवर्नमेंट ये इंश्योर करेगा कि सबके पास आटा दाल चावल हो. यहां पर कोई डिवीजन नहीं है. नो क्लास बेस्ड डिवीजन. मतलब ऐसा नहीं है कि एक तरफ है वो लोग जिनके पास रिसोर्सेज है और एक तरफ वो लोग जो उनके लिए काम कर रहे हैं. एम्प्लॉयर एम्प्लॉय कुछ नहीं है, क्योंकि सभी नौकर है, सिर्फ गवर्नमेंट काम करवा रहा है. कोई नौकर मालिक वाला रिलेशन नहीं है. और गवर्नमेंट यहाँ पर लोगों का राइट टू वर्क, स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ लिविंग का ध्यान रखता है. सबको एक फिक्स सैलरी मिलेगा अपने काम के लिए. इससे लोगों का भला होगा. और प्रॉब्लम्स क्या है? होगा, लोगों के पास फ्रीडम नहीं है बिजनेस करने का या सामान खरीदने का. प्राइवेट प्रॉपर्टी आपके पास नहीं है. आपका मन नहीं करेगा काम करने का, क्योंकि सैलरी फिक्स्ड है. तो आप हार्डवर्क करो या नहीं करो, आपको तो उतने ही पैसे मिलने हैं. एंड फाइनली गवर्नमेंट मोनोपोली. यहां सिर्फ गवर्नमेंट ही है जो अपने मन का करेगा. और याद रखिएगा, सोशलिस्ट इकोनॉमी में जो भी प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व है इकोनॉमी का, वो सॉल्व होगा बाय गवर्नमेंट. गवर्नमेंट डिसीजन लेगा. दैट इज द आंसर. प्रॉफिट नहीं, गवर्नमेंट डिसाइड करेगा. इज दैट क्रिस्टल क्लियर मेट्स? एवरीबडी यस और नो? कम ऑन. जी सर, क्लियर. फाइनली we talk about mixed economy. Mixed economy. What is this, sir? What is mixed economy, sir? My lovely friends, mixed economy एक ऐसी इकोनॉमी है जहां पर कैपिटलिस्ट भी है और सोशलिस्ट भी है. where there is capitalism as well as socialism. Yes, sir. Here there is presence of both capitalist and socialist class. Okay, sir. So now, if there is both capitalist and socialist class, is there one person taking decision? No, one person is not taking decision. Like in India, in today's world, most of the economies like India and everyone is mixed in nature. That is, there are some businesses like in India. If I say, you tell me, guys, who is the owner of Coal India? Yeah, Coal India falls under whom? Steel Authority of India, SAIL, BHEL. Who is owning all this? You are correct. it is owned by government. So there are some businesses like iron and steel, heavy investment that require, are owned by the government. But then there are some businesses like car manufacturing, Tatas, the Geo, and all these businesses. There are private sector too. So it is an economy which has both the features. For some products, you will see social welfare. You can just club both the points of capitalist and socialist mixed will form. So there is social welfare plus there is profit motive here. Okay, amazing. Here, government will take decision also. That is, there will be economic planning. Plus here, private sector, that is price mechanism will also operate. That is where demand equals to supply, that price will be charged. Here, in some products, there is choice. In some products, there is no choice. So both kinds of features are available. So mixed has both merits and demerits of the two. Sir, so mixed economy is so very simple to remember. Yes. Now with whatever we have studied, guys, let's see whether we have been able to solve some problems or not. Okay. And remember, guys, one more thing I will teach you. Controlled economy. If they ask you what is a controlled economy, mixed economy is a controlled economy. If they ask you which one is a command economy, which one is a command? Because here government is giving all the command, socialist economy. If they ask you which one is laissez-faire, remember it is the capitalist economy. So if they ask you laissez-faire, it is capitalist. If they ask you controlled, it is mixed economy. If they ask you command economy, command means where government will take the decisions. If they tell you command economy, it is the socialist economy. Is that crystal clear? Yes, sir. It's crystal clear to all our friends. Let's solve some and then let's see, what we are able to solve. Let's go to our dear institute's material now. Let's see. Let's randomly move, okay? Let's move randomly so that we can see whether we are able to understand or not. Let's see. You all tell me, guys, profit motive is a merit of which economy? Come on, guys, tell me. Profit motive is a merit of, yes, guessed it right. It is the main merit of capitalist economy. Yes, it is there in mixed economy, but it is the main motive of capitalism. Therefore, capitalism is our answer. Isn't it, sir? Yes, sir. Let's move on to the next question. Let's study a case study based question and see what we are discussing. Okay, let's see. Mr. Satish hired a business consultant to guide him for the growth of his business. So Mr. Satish hired somebody who will help him in his business. The consultant visited his factory and suggested some changes related to staff, related to loan and so on. Which approach is that consultant using? He went to a particular business, okay? Is it micro, macro, none or both? What say, guys? Come on. It is talking about individual business. Consultant has visited the growth of his business, Mr. Satish's. So it is micro. We studied. Micro talks about individual. Micro talks about individual. Yes, sir. In fact, you are correct. Next question. Let's see whether we are able to solve it. Let's see whether we are able to solve it. Managerial economics is applied economics that fills the gap between theory and practice. Okay. Managerial is just theory. It trains manager to how to behave in recession. Yeah, provides tools which explain various concepts. Which just explain the concepts. 42. Read it out and tell me, guys, what do you think is the correct answer? Come on, friends. What do you think is correct? Very good. Sir, it is not just theory. It doesn't only train for recession. No. It doesn't explain concepts. It also links the business practice. Today only we studied the business in practice, application in real life. Yes or no, friends? Our friend Aryan, Vandana, you were correct. Yes, correct. Come on, everyone. Is that clear? Yes, sir. It indeed is clear. Why? Why is there a need of economic study? Why should we study economics? See, I'm moving randomly. The idea is to see whether you people are understanding. Because resources are limited, wants are unlimited. Why do we need economics? Because resources are limited, wants are unlimited, or resources are unlimited, or both A and B. I am sure all of you will give the correct answer. Tell me, guys. Come on, tell me, guys, which one is the correct answer? Come on, mates. Come on, my lovely friends. Attack. Yes. Both A and B. Because just resources are limited is not the problem. The thing is, resources are limited and wants are unlimited. And that's why the economic problem arises. Very good. Ritu, very good. Bhumika, Aditya, very good. Mehak, Mahima, correct answer, friends. Very good. Let's see. Very good. Science deals with wealth. I told you this person's name. Let's see if you can identify this person. I told you, come on, let's see if you remember. He gave the wealth definition. I told you at the very beginning of the class. Was it Marshall, Pigou, Smith, or Say? Come on, tell me. Yes. Science of Wealth, 1776, was given in his book by Mr. Smith. Adam Smith. Correct. Alfred Marshall gave the welfare definition. Alfred Marshall gave the welfare definition. Wealth definition was given by Smith. Acha, who gave the scarcity definition? This also I taught you today. Come on, you see. Who gave the scarcity definition? Come on, everybody. Come on, let's see whether you are able to solve it. Bah. You all are correct. Mr. Lionel Robbins. Yes. See, Smith gave the wealth. You will write it down now. Adam Smith gave the wealth definition. Marshall gave the welfare definition. Okay? Robinson gave the scarcity definition. Scarcity. And if they ask you growth, Samuelson gave the growth definition. Professor Samuelson. Growth definition. Write it down. And it's good to see that you people remember everything. Wow. Such an intelligent group. Come on, everybody. Yes, Aisha, you are correct. Let's move on to another question. Freedom of choice is advantage of what? Yes. It is the advantage of capitalism. It is the advantage of capitalism. You are correct. It's the advantage of capitalism. Macroeconomics is a study of, obviously not scarcity. We study in micro. National economy and global economy as a whole. Correct. Not only big businesses, individual businesses, it is micro. Big business is also micro. Just because you are big doesn't mean you will come under macro. It has to be the entire economy for it to come under macro heading. Which of the following is not one of the four central questions? How are goods produced? When are goods produced? Who produces what? Who consumes what? What do you think is the answer, guys? Come on. When. Timing is not there. What to produce, how to produce, for whom to produce, and economic growth. What to produce, how to produce, for whom to produce, and problem of economic growth. Only these four are considered. So when, timing is not at all important. And my dear friends, that brings us to the end of today's class, to the end of chapter 1. Unit A and B, along with practice, along with MCQs we have practiced. Keep studying, keep practicing. See you all in the next day with chapter number 2. That's it for the day. That's it for the day. Goodbye, everyone. Tata. Thank you very much.